What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So as you can see, it's 6 o'clock in the morning here on a foggy, cloudy day in Old Ridge. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I got some things I got to do before the rain comes. Getting real close to a sugar beet harvest as well. We might be harvesting sugar beets in the rain, which is not a problem. It's just going to make for a really muddy mess in the field, but okay, not much I can do about it. As you can see, we're down here at the DeKalb Dairy, getting ready to sell some of our UHT milk. We have 14 containers of UHT milk since I put that thing up. That's quite a bit. This thing pumps out some UHT milk, which is good, but it also makes me very busy. I've already fed my cows this morning. I'm out of straw, as I tend to run out of straw about this time of year. So they're sort of on a diet of silage and grass, which is fine. Just so long as they keep producing milk. The Milk Max machine is empty, and I need to refill it. So we're going to drive, or back up, I should say, because I couldn't be more of a, make it harder on myself. And I put this thing over in the corner so I could back up to it. Not in good or bad news, and just sort of a report. My certifications have come through for my raw milk, so I can sell that to here as well. Whatever's left over from the UHT process. So now I think if I just unload this on the trailer, it should sell it. Yep, not all of it though. Making quite a, there it goes. So that's pretty good. Made quite a bit of money off that. I believe it's $1,400 a container, which probably is a whole bunch. That's awfully loud, isn't it? Let me just turn that down a little bit. Which is a whole bunch, but you know what? You can't really alter the price. I think the only way I could alter the price is if I go into the trigger, pull the trigger into Giants Editor, and maybe reduce the multiplier, the price multiplier. I haven't really thought about that, but that's something I could probably do. One other thing I did too was, you guys may be aware that Mike has sort of picked this spot here, because there's two big tanks there, two big holding tanks, as the place to sell milk to DeKalb, So what I did was I put my triggers inside, my triggers over here, and put a building over it, just because in real life you would normally unload milk, in a building. So that's just a little realism thing. Just wanted to show you guys that while I was over here. So okay, so let's get back to the dairy. Let's get this Flegel parked up. We will fill up the Milk Max machine, and then I need to go spray some N on field 10. I should probably check the other fields too while I'm at it, because I have not walked the field yet this morning. I just know that field 10 needs some N because I was over there last night. There's my first time playing Farming Simulator for the day lag that I get every single time, and I'm going to get some lag now anyway because of the lights and because of the fog and everything else. So, and I've got, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff going on this farm. So, a lot of scripts, a lot of, automation and, or not automation, but animation, things like that. So lots of stuff going on. So, every so often you're going to get a little bit of a lag spike, but, I can live with it. So getting to be a real busy time here in Old Ridge, as you guys are probably aware. Mike has already started a soybean harvest, an early bean harvest, So getting to be a busy, busy time, as it usually is this time of year. I will be harvesting sugar beets first, which is a little odd because generally you tend to harvest sugar beets last, but because of the way that I put them in the ground, they're going to go in first, or come out first, I should say. Now, can I, with any luck, get this thing parked back over here? Probably not. Well, maybe. Oh, no, let's jackknife it, though. All right. Come on, Flegel, work with me. There you go. We'll just get this parked up next to the telehandler, not crashed into the telehandler like I'm going to do right there. And we will go grab, I guess while we're going over to the main farm, I can show you. You guys know I've been on the market for a new tractor for a while now. Well, I finally got one. The financing came through. I want to thank everybody for the suggestions on what tractor I should buy. But I had one in mind that I wanted. And I just needed to, get the money and find a good version of it. So, all right, let's go refill the milk. I actually need to refill this tractor as well. This tractor is getting a little low on fuel. There's so much stuff over here. I need to expand my dairy. My dairy is too small now for everything that I do over here. You know, I park all the baling equipment over here. I park the trailers over here. You know, the stuff that at least has a function to do with the dairy. So I need to expand my area here. Okay. Now, what I also need to do is not fill this up past 5,000 because that's all the MilkMax is going to, or 10,000, I should say. That's all the MilkMax machine is going to hold. So. And that'll do. Okay. Might as well jump in the cab. Yeah, I got a couple things at the main farm I want to show you. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you may be aware I put up a post day before yesterday, I believe, about my my problems with porting my what's called a federal commercial driver's license in America to drive any 18-wheel trucks or large pieces of equipment. You need a commercial driver's license. You know, I happen to have a federal one because at one time in my life I was a over-the-road truck driver, so I needed that, and it was obviously once I got out of that business and got into farming. I didn't need that anymore, but I kept it anyway, so I could drive my trucks, haul things to the to the grain elevators and stuff like that. Now, I was under the impression, and I was sort of told by the people who helped me set this all up when I came to the UK, that I could pretty much drive on my federal CDL for an extended period of time. But I recently got a letter saying that I've been in the Old Ridge area for more than 185 days now, which I have. It's been probably, it's been almost 2 years. So obviously it's more than 185 days. And I own property, so I am considered a resident of the UK, which means that I cannot drive HGV vehicles on public roads in the UK until I get a UK HGV license. Well, okay, so that's all well and good. Well, that poses a pretty big problem for me because obviously I need to be able to drive things on the road, to run the farm. And this all came about when I went to insure and register my newest purchase, which is a truck. A semi-truck. It's not a new one by any means. In fact, it's an old MAZ or MAZ. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Again, from my friend, the Russian equipment collector. I called him up and I said, listen, I need a truck, but it doesn't have to be fancy and it doesn't have to be, fully featured by any means. All I really needed to do was to be able to haul sugar beets and things, so that I can make one trip down to the collection point instead of a whole bunch of them, And he's like, oh, I got something just for you. It's an MAZ. It's not super old, but it's not new by any means. Oh, stop. And, $6,000 and it's yours. It runs good and everything, So I went to get an MOT on it and everything, and I went to register it and insure it and everything. And they asked for my license, and I showed them my federal CDL license, and they're like, well, that's okay, but blah blah blah. So they took it, and then I called my lawyer and I said, I had a little trouble registering and insuring this vehicle. He's like, well, what happened? And so I told him, and he said, so I guess he did some research and came back with what I posted on the Facebook page. So I actually have to take a theory test, and then I have to take a road test. But in the meantime, I can't drive on the road, right? So I called the lawyer and I said, listen, is there any way we can, might as well, while I'm yammering on here, might as well tab over to the case and get the sprayer hooked up. I said, is there any way I can apply for some sort of exemption, at least for this harvest, so over the winter I can, schedule a theory test and do the studying and whatever. And what I'll do is I'll probably go through one of these driving schools, that can help me out with that whole process, so that I can do this stuff for now. No, I want to take the whole thing off. And he was like, well, let me see what I can do. So basically what he did was he applied for an exemption for me, and I got it. And so now I can drive for the next 75 days, I believe. 35 days on public roads. And as you can see, this is why I needed it. This is what I wanted. This is what I need to drive. This is an MAZ. It's old, but she still makes plenty of power, and she's actually in pretty good shape. I also, because I've got a pretty much revolving line of credit, although I am very much in debt now, I picked up this, a Flegel pushback. Just this purely really is to be able to haul stuff in mass, in bulk to the places where I sell it to, without having to make a bunch of trips with tractors. That's really the only reason I wanted this. So it's a cool truck and it works good, and you guys will definitely be seeing that come the sugar beet harvest. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to field dump everything, and then just pick it up and put it in that truck, just so I don't have to have that truck driving through the fields. That's really, I want to avoid that. So I got a bunch of eggs over here. I got to pick up 2, I guess. Oh. There we go. That's all the eggs. Get those sold off at some point as well. Okay. Now, if I could figure out what I'm doing here and drive around the truck, we'll go pick up the spray stuff. This will be the last spraying for this year, I believe, just because we'll be ready. Well, probably not, actually, because the wheat and the potatoes and the barley still have a few days, or probably 2 weeks, I guess, before they're ready to go. So probably potatoes will be the last thing I do this year, harvest-wise, because they went in the ground last. So all right, I need to jump out so I can see what I'm doing. I figure if it's going to rain tomorrow, then I want to get this stuff on the ground today. I don't want to wait. Don't want to spray in the rain because although, this stuff is hygroscopic, you know what I mean? Meaning that it won't necessarily wash away in the rain. I'd rather not take the chance. So, but spraying the day before rain is not a bad thing to do. So, okay. So I need N. Oh, but I need NPK to fill it up with. NPK, there we go. So we will fill this up, go spray field 10. Might as well drive around, check on the other fields, check on the animals, all the daily stuff that you do on a farm. Fill that up. Make sure to change it to N. I'll show you my other purchase too, the tractor. Which I'm really happy about. I mean, obviously I needed one, and I was glad to be able to get the one that I wanted. They're not cheap. This tractor cost $105,000. Farm equipment is so massively expensive. Luckily the loan rates are pretty favorable. The interest rate isn't awful. And I always pay back the loans, even though I'm constantly in debt, as most farmers are. As long as a percentage of the loan is paid back every year, you know what I mean? They're pretty happy. The banks are pretty happy about it. So I deal with HSBC. They've been awesome to me since I've been in this, in the UK. So can't really complain. All right. N, and then N, and then we'll switch it back to the back tank so I can actually unfold it. And we'll go up to field 10. And since I have to go this way, we'll actually stop and take a look at the new tractor anyway. Do I still have my beacons on? I do. Definitely want to have beacons on a foggy day. So there it is. It's a Claas. You guys may remember in Farming Simulator 13, when I very first started doing videos, I used to rave about Claas tractors. I'm a big fan. I really like them. And, now that the good ones for Farming Simulator 15 have come out, I couldn't wait to get one. So this is the Claas Arion 650. If we take a look at it in the shop, actually, or in the garage, since I have one, obviously I can look at it in the garage. So it is 184 horsepower, so it's slightly less horsepower than the two cases, which is perfect for me. This was a $50,000 tractor, $50,250. So it's got a lot of cool features. It's a nice model. It's got dual wheels that you can put on and off. they're not buyable. They're addable, so that's it's kind of too bad about that. But whatever. At least they're there. It's got weights for the rear wheels. Obviously, I have an OEB weight on the front. The modeling is very good. It looks good. I like it. And I really wanted one of these. So, and to everybody who's said, "Oh, buy a John Deere, buy a John Deere, buy a John Deere." And again, I would have loved to buy a John Deere. There's just not. Even the good ones are not great. You know what I mean? So this was, this was an easy purchase. I like it. It works good. It looks good. And I definitely needed it. So there you go. So there's the two new purchases on the farm. So anyway, let's go over to field 10. Let's spray some N. Definitely going to need this. Oh, they're still on. Definitely going to need this this barley and wheat to come up because I need the straw. I'm seriously giving some thought to doing some crops, barley probably, or no, wheat, I'm sorry, and just swathing them, just windrowing them, just so I can have, straw all the time. Because I can't keep running out of straw like this. I run out of straw every year, no matter how much I plant. So, okay. Now, if I was smart, again, I would let Courseplay do this so I don't make a massive mess of it. I know I have a course for this. Let's see. Field 10 spray. Yes, very good. And I'm pretty sure the start point is over here. This course is a little wonky, but that's just because of the shape of the field, where it sort of, makes that weird curve right there at the entrance, but that's okay. The soy is coming up nicely. You can see the end level isn't awful over here, but it does get a little low in the middle of the field, so I just decided to put some more down. Now, where is the start point? Probably should get some more weed prevention on here too, because there isn't any at the moment. And first waypoint, and what's the speed at? 9. That's perfect. Drive the course. We can turn the waypoints off. There we go. Oh. See right here, the end's only 3. This field is kind of spotty. And again, I'm not sure. That must be a function of soil mod. The way soil mod is, works now. With its grids and everything. But it's funny because it'll be acidic in spots. It'll be low in N in spots. Other spots will be perfect, just like a real field, which is really very cool if you ask me. So, really need to raise that up a little bit, though. I don't want it dragging in the crop, so we'll just raise that up. Very good. See, the PK isn't bad. The N's a little low, so I want to make sure I take care of that. While I still have time before the harvest, before these come up for harvest. These will probably be coming up immediately after the sugar beets because they went in the ground right afterwards. So it's going to be a busy time here in Old Ridge. They're going to have a lot of stuff going on, and I always look forward to harvest because it's busy, because I don't have to, be, what am I going to do today, Obviously, in a real farm, you always have stuff to do. Sometimes in Farming Simulator, you can run out of stuff to do. You've fed your animals, you've planted all your crops, you've if you're using soil mod, you've sprayed everything. I forgot to fold this up. And he's gonna catch that tree. There we go. No, unfold, thank you. You've cut grass or whatever, and sometimes you got to wait a day or two, which is why there's a fast forward function, obviously, because you don't have anything to do. Luckily, as a farm gets bigger, as you get more stuff, as you get more fields, as you get more animals, the days are filled with, I gotta feed, I gotta do stuff. And if you start adding placeables, or you start adding maps where you add things, then there's always something to do, and that's what makes it really fun. At least I think so, anyway. So I was talking to Mike the other day, and again about the Crawford Brown divorce situation. As you guys know, I am not interested in that so much. You know what I mean? It's none of my business, and I that's a pretty personal and private thing. I think, have the Crawford Browns been massive pains in the asses? Yes, but again, I don't know that their personal business needs to be out in the public. But again, this is a small area. Everybody knows everybody. And we're a gossipy lot, to be honest. It's all good natured, But so Mike said that he was going to go visit Mr. Crawford Brown and, probably down the pub, have a couple of drinks or whatever, down the hotel, wherever Mr. Crawford Brown likes to drink, have a couple of drinks, see if he can, grease him up a little bit to find out what's going on. And as well, he wants to take his allotment field. Allotments are something I don't really understand that much. Apparently, in the UK, so much land has to be devoted over to, like, public gardening, I guess is what it is, he had given up some of his land for allotments, and nobody's using them. You know what I mean? Apparently, that whole thing is sort of going by the wayside as people get busier and have less time to actually work land and everything. Which is too bad. And he wants to turn it into some sort of just like leisure area, like a park. Plant some trees, put some benches down, things like that. I think that's a great idea. And if I had more land, I would certainly, be interested in maybe doing that same thing myself. I'm a big believer in putting the land back, giving it back to nature and to the people and everything else, and at some point when I get more land, I very well may do that. So now I was curious because I can't quite see because of the plants, but I was curious to see what these new textures are doing with things like N and PK. But I can't quite see it because the soybeans are so thick. So, and I'm not complaining about that. That's good. This should be a pretty good yield. The fields are in decent shape considering, And as I've said, over and over and over again, even though it's going to rain, we're going to need a lot of rain to get everything back to the way it was. There'll be no lifting of the, the watering restrictions or anything this year, certainly. Maybe over the winter, if we get a lot of snow and we get a lot of moisture and everything, they may consider lifting the restrictions so we can go back to, watering our fields and everything. But it certainly isn't going to happen this year. All right, he's almost done. Now, do me a favor and don't crash the boom into the bus stop, please. I don't want to have to be like Mike and replace a bus stop. Those things are very expensive. So, if you look down on the mini map there, you can see two things blinking. I've got great demands for stuff I don't have. It never fails, right? I don't tend to really worry about great demands here anyway because of the storyline and because of the way that I play here. Everything is pretty much under contract, so regardless of whether it was a great demand or not, I couldn't bring it there anyway. I would have to bring it to where I contracted to. As I've said, I just like the stability of knowing what I'm going to get paid for stuff. I do some cash stuff. If I have more yield than I sell to a contract, now I can always sell it to them too, but if I have more, if I met my contract quota, say I have to bring 30 tons of something somewhere, and I have 36 tons or 33 tons or whatever, then I can cash sell it, to whoever's paying the best. But it never seems to work out that I get great demands for that stuff after I've fulfilled my contract quotas. So it's just how it works out, I guess. All right, finish up. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's done. And we can reset that. Make sure we turn those back on. And get off the field. I've checked the potatoes. They're okay. The sugar beets are okay. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've checked field 11 south yet or not. So we'll probably go take a look at that, I guess. And the quickest way to get there is going to be this way. And again, safety first, kids. Make sure your implements are fully folded and in their down position. There we go. Because obviously, Courseplay will fold it up, but it won't put the boom, down if you've put it up. So, all right, we'll go over here. We'll check field 11 south here, and then we will go and check fields 1, 3, 5, and 6. And I'm sure they'll all need stuff, and it'll probably all be different. So I did not make a list this time because this was sort of a on-the-fly kind of thing, I wasn't going to make an Old Ridge video today because I'm like, there's not a whole lot going on. But then I realized, what? I need to sell that Milk Max milk, and that might be interesting to some people. So, okay, let's see. What are we looking at here? Well, the N is okay. The N's actually very good here. Has this lime absorbed into the soil yet? It has not. Okay. The N and the PK are not bad. The N is very good, 12, obviously. That's a little high. The PK is not bad. Okay, so that field's all set. I know the potato field is good because I've been there. One other thing I want to do this winter is take down a little bit of this hedge, right about here, say. Since I plan on replacing hedge over on my pig facility, I'm not so worried about taking it down. I want to take it down right here and make an entrance out of this field. It just makes sense since I've got this sort of grass verge in the middle to be able to go straight out. So, and ignore me driving across the field. I'm not doing that. Okay. Need to get another cut on the meadows pretty soon. Excuse me for the weird noise you're going to hear from my headset. Inside of my ear just started to itch. So this will be the last episode of just sort of maintenance-y stuff, spraying and things like that. The next episode will definitely be harvest, and it will definitely be sugar beets. I'll have to go up and get the ropa from the major, give it a good going over, make sure it's clean and, doesn't have anything in it, and there's nothing's wrong with it or anything like that, I know the major's already used it, I believe, once. I believe he's got one field of sugar beets. Obviously, he has a huge sugar beet operation going on up there, so I think he's already used it. So, and I'm, and I'm not worried about him, not cleaning it or not maintaining it or anything like that, so. Let's go this way, actually. Okay. Oop. My steering wheel's been acting funny. Hope it's not wearing out. I know I've been doing a ton of racing lately. So, hopefully I'm not putting a beating on the old G27 here. Okay, how are we looking here? Do you need anything? PK, nope. Everything looks good here. The lime hasn't soaked in yet. The soil moisture, of course, is what it is, so. Okay, so this field's okay. Now, how's my field 3? This poor field has gone through so much hell over its, lifetime that, oh, no, you're doing okay. I have a real hard time with this field. This field takes a beating. Oh, no, this is field 6. I'm sorry. Wait. Okay, field 6 is okay. I'm like, feel poor field 3, and I'm not even on field 3. What kind of farmer are you, BP? Come on. So field 6 is all right, which probably means field 5 is okay too. This field over here, this poor field, field 3, and I don't know why. I don't know what makes this field so much worse than all the other ones. I may, and I'm thinking about this for the winter, I may actually turn this into a grass field, I think. Maybe. I'm not 100% certain about that yet, but it's something I'm thinking about. Yeah, N is low. PK is really low. What I should do is go back and fill this up with NPK and spray it with NPK. Yeah, let's do that. I don't want to put N and then come back and put PK on it when we can do it both at the same time. So let's go do that. We'll spray this field, and I'll call that an episode. Now, let me just run in here. You can see the barley's coming up. So it won't be too long before this is ready too. Oh yeah, this is doing very good. Soil moisture is really good over here. But this field's had a lot of stuff sprayed on it too, so you would expect that. The soil moisture is not bad. It goes down in the middle of the field as you would expect. So, but it's certainly doing okay. All right, very good, very good. I was really worried about this field, and I'm glad this field is doing good. Because you just can't. I'm not a big farmer. I don't have a massive operation. I cannot afford to lose an entire crop. An entire field of crop, especially since that's the only barley I have in the ground. I just didn't want to plant barley in the sort of quantities in the acreages that I normally plant it because of the drought. I was afraid I would lose it all. So I only planted a little bit of barley this year. Now, if we get a lot of moisture over the winter, and everything sort of sorts itself out, I'll go back to being, a predominantly barley producer. But this year I kind of had to take a break from the barley because I just couldn't afford to lose it all. So, all right, let's get this filled up with NPK. I know I've spent a lot of money on fertilizer and lime and everything this year. But, some years it's going to be like that. You're going to have to spend more money on stuff than other years. And, and of course that's going to offset the profit that I make off my, off these crops, so. I'll probably just break even, to be honest. Let's just scroll this around until it's on NPK again, and then we'll fill it back up again. Yeah, I'll probably just break even, with the cost of the diesel, the cost of the equipment, the cost of the fertilizers, the cost of the labor, and everything else. I'll probably just break even, meaning that I will have offset the cost of all that stuff but not made any extra money. But that's okay, just so long as I can make my loan payments, make my residual payments, and everything else. I'll be okay with that, And I'll just take this year as, one of those years. Farming is so nature dependent. You know what I mean? You can't. I didn't want to go that way. I want to go this way because I don't want to drive across the field to get to field 3. So, farming is weather and nature dependent. You can augment your stuff. You can help it as much as you can, but it's still weather and nature dependent. And if you have a bad weather year, well, okay, you do the best you can, and you hope you break even, basically. And I think that's what everybody around here is kind of hoping for this year, that we just break even, and that we don't lose money. Because one thing the bank does not want to hear is that, okay, well, you owe us, $200,000, say. I think I'm into the bank right now for about $265,000, all totaled. And they do not want to hear that I lost $80,000. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear that. So, because they're still going to want their $30,000 at the end of the year after harvest anyway. Actually, in my case, it'll probably be $35,000 or $40,000. So, okay, well, they don't want to hear it. So you got to work hard to keep your stuff in as good a shape as you can possibly get it, to maximize, even in the rough times. So, all right, turn that on. Let's get this field sprayed. Get some NPK down. Now, can we see what's actually going on the field? Not really, huh? I think that has more to do with the fog than anything else. And I know you guys like to see this done in cab, but I can't do it in the cab. I make too much of a mess. I need to super zoom out. What I need to do is fly a drone behind the tractor, so I can see what the sprayer's doing, to make sure I'm getting it on the field and I'm not wasting it by getting it on the grass, or spraying it on the road, which will only get me in trouble. So, yeah, so probably what we'll do is I'll spray this field, and then we'll call this an episode. And in the next episode, we will be harvesting sugar beets. And then it's just going to be, sugar beets, probably soybeans after that, and then probably the first of the barley. It's going to be a close race between the barley and the soybeans about what comes up next. And then it'll be all the wheat, and then finally it'll be the potatoes. So it's going to be a lot of harvest, a lot of stuff going on here. Still got animals in between to do. Still have Milk Max machine to fill up. I'm seriously considering buying another one of those machines, depending on how this harvest goes. But my main priority this year is to get through this harvest, get through this year, hopefully not lose too much money, make the payments I got to make. Hopefully buy another field. I just want to keep expanding the farm. That's the whole idea. Also, now that we're coming close to harvest and we're coming close to the end of another quote-unquote year here on Old Ridge, I need you guys' sort of feedback. Do you want to keep seeing this map, or do you want me to move to another one? Just know that regardless of whether I keep recording this or not, I am always going to keep playing on it. As I've said over and over and over again, thanks to Mike, thanks to Sean, thanks to all you guys for making Old Ridge a living, breathing place that is, that has, people in it, that has real things in it, that lives and breathes regardless of, whether we're playing on it or not. You know what I mean? The story has become such that, we have made this an actual place. If you guys want to keep seeing it, believe me, I will gladly keep, playing on it, keep recording it, and all of that stuff. I have no issue with that. I love this map, as you guys know. If you don't want to see it anymore, you have probably 3 weeks or so, a month, maybe 3 weeks worth of episodes, to sort of let me know, okay, BP, it's time to move on. And then I will, I will keep playing on it off screen, but I will come up with a reason why why I'm leaving Old Ridge or whatever. and I will, we'll move on to something else. There will be some Snovska videos, obviously, in the coming days as well. So, Snovska, in the beginning of a map, it's always a little tricky to put out a video too often because there's just not a lot of stuff going on. I've only got the 2 fields, fields got to grow. I am cutting down some trees at the moment, so you will see that. You won't see me actually cutting down the trees, but you'll see me loading them on that silly Stepa trailer and hauling them off to the biomass facility, only because it's the closest place to sell them. So you'll see that in the next episode of Snovska, which will be in a couple of days. So. All right, that's good. We'll fold that up. And we will call this an episode. I've already got a thumbnail, so I don't need another one. We'll just go ahead and stop right there. Just stop right in the middle of the field. Why not? Stop. Thank you. And I will say my little outro that I do all the time. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, remember, I need your feedback. I've got about 3 weeks to make a decision on whether you want to keep seeing Old Ridge going on in the future. I'll run this series forever, to be honest. It has I love it, you know what I mean? It's going to be repetitive. It's going to be the same thing. But it's farming, And it's fun to watch this map develop and evolve over time, especially with everybody that plays on it. I think that's really cool. But I will certainly take all your feedback into account. Thank you for coming to the channel, for watching, for commenting, for liking, for subscribing, for messaging me, for giving me tips, for giving me suggestions, for giving me links to cool stuff. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel and you saw Old Ridge Farm, Farming Simulator 15, and you wanted to check it out and you like what you see, please click the like button. Basically what that does is, first of all, it shows me that you like the video, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Secondly, it moves me up in the search rankings when you type in Farming Simulator 15 or whatever. The more likes a video gets, the higher up in the search recommendation it goes, and more people can see it. So that's a big deal for me, and thank you very much for that. Also, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It's the best way of being notified of when I make a video, which is pretty much every day. And if not every day, at least every 2 days. And as always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.